Hi, welcome to the video. This is my sketchbook. Remember it? Remember 2 weeks ago when I said I was gonna fill the first page in the sketchbook for you? I have filled a few pages since then, but I intentionally left the first page blank just for you guys. So the plan for today is to make some marks on this piece of paper, call it art, and then walk away. I hope you'll join me. Now before I draw on the first page, I do just want to take a moment to appreciate this page that I've already drawn. It wasn't its fault that it was drawn on the opposite side of the first page, which I plan on using Copic markers. You'll live forever in my heart. I don't know what that is. Okay, bye. All right. This page. I'm going to be using this Prismacolor Color Erase pencil in the color pink. I thought it'd be a good idea because I was going to use it underneath Copics and I'd be able to erase like the parts that I didn't need, but this ended up being a very bad decision. And like all my other problems in the summertime, I'm going to blame the humidity. Darn humidity! But we'll talk about that later. I might not have put as much thought into this first page as sometimes I usually do, but I did have a vague idea of what I wanted it to look like, and this first sketch wasn't even vaguely close to my vague idea. I'm inspired by this sketch on this second page. I really like how stiff the character is and how like powerful she looks. So that meant erasing what I already had. My kneaded eraser really wasn't cutting it, so I had to bring out the heavy artillery. But then that didn't work either. What can you do? Humidity. Probably also the pencil's fault. So that meant starting over again and ignoring the chicken scratch that was still there. This time making sure to glance back and forth at that sketch that I really liked so that I could hopefully capture it a little bit better. I don't think I've actually said this yet, but the plan for the first page was to have the character that I had painted on the cover of the sketchbook standing off to the left, and then on the right I'm going to have, basically it's gonna say Sketchbook 23, and then underneath that it'll like show the dates that Sketchbook 23 was filled within. I like to do welcome pages whenever I create a new sketchbook. I just think they're fun. They leave the guesswork to what the first page needs to look like, because I feel like there could be a lot of anxiety when it comes to drawing in that first page, because you know that's the first page people see. What do you put on it? And so if I put the exact same thing every time, I don't even have to think about it. It just comes naturally. Of course, I change it up. It's not the exact same thing, but you know, there's a theme there. I think it's just helpful to allow your creativity to have limitations, because then you have to keep trying new things to try to make that same thing new. I already knew what her outfit was going to look like because I had put time into deciding what that would look like a couple days ago when I was actually drawing the next page, which I keep flipping back and forth and you keep seeing. I kind of ironed out what her outfit would look like, so at this point it was pretty easy. I just had to put it on her so she wasn't naked. And then I tried to see if roses might look good over here too. You know, just putting them everywhere and anywhere. Pencil sharpening break. Okay, I gotta clean this up. But now that the pencil is sharpened, I can actually use it to start refining the details. I really like to allow my pencil to just get very, very dull as I'm laying out the sketch, because I feel like it's very soft and it like allows me to experiment a little bit more and I can't draw quite as dark. Then when I'm happy with it, I sharpen the pencil and then I can start refining everything that I already know that I like and like chip away at it and just make it look better slowly. If you try to make something look good right off the bat, that's when you run into problems. Trust me, it won't look good. You gotta take your time, step by step, you'll get there. So I'm pretty happy with the way it looks, but I need to just double check. I'm gonna keep checking the cover, make sure that I think it looks like her. I wanna capture that like essence that I painted on the cover, but now in sketch form. I also can't decide if I want to keep the bangs or not. I feel like her little swirly cinnamon bun bang is definitely distracting from the rose crown that she already has because it's kind of a very similar shape. So I'm still arguing with myself about that. Here I tried adding a little extra ruffly bits to her skirt. I elongated it, added a little bit more texture, but it was just too busy. What I liked about her outfit before is that it seemed kind of simple, like big poofy sleeves, crop top, high-waisted little like tie wrap, and then leggings. I feel like it all just was simple, it was easy to draw. Adding in the ruffles and making the bandana thing a skirt, it was just too much fabric. I don't know. I can zoom in a little bit and show you some more details here, like the hands. I have her resting right on that letter S, and then I have the other hand kind of pointing at the words, kind of just gesturing, welcoming you to the sketchbook and telling you to read "Welcome to my sketchbook," literally, so that you know you are welcome. It's a little redundant, but I like it. Now that I like the sketch and it's about where I want it, I know where the words are gonna be. I'm not sure about the roses, but I like the character and I like the words. That means it's time to get out my Copic markers. And these are my Ohuhu brush markers. I like to use these together so that I have a larger variety of colors. The first thing I did was add the line art to the title, Sketchbook. I decided to keep it very sketchy, add variety to the widths, and even leave little spaces that I could color with marker later on if I so chose. Then it was time to add line art to the character. I always start with the face, I don't know why. It's just the thing I do. What is another cute face? Come on. Another thing I do, for whatever reason, is to add like a very dark shadow under the chin. I remember whenever I would draw at work, a customer would come up and be like, why does the character have a beard? And I would just stare at them, and I'd be like, can I help you? Like, what do you say to that? Like, maybe my character does have a beard. It's like, it's been years and I still haven't come up with a comeback for that. Why does your character have a beard? I don't know. Why do you have a face? Yeah, see, I got nothing. So you just add line art to everything. At least that's what I did. You're basically just tracing your favorite lines and ignoring the lines that you don't like so much. And then you end up with an illustration that has all your best lines. Sometimes you accidentally, you know, twitch and just draw a line that you didn't mean to draw, but I don't know, I guess it all comes with practice. One day I'll get it right like 100%. Just wait. Then it was time to add coloring. Now this was a little tricky because I'm trying to match my Copic markers and my Ohuhu markers to acrylic paint that I like mixed and painted on the cover. So I'm trying to make the character look the same, but obviously not using the same tools. I settled on YR0000 for the hair. Now I end up layering this a lot and ending up blending it with some other colors, but I thought this was a pretty good base. It looks very similar to the cover, you know, as close as I could get. When it came to coloring in her red outfit, I think I mixed between R1 and R2 in the Ohuhu brush markers. And this worked really well when I needed like just a little extra tone or just like a little bit of shadow, or if I just wanted to see a little bit of like a tone shift. And it really gave the outfit like some dimension. It looked 3D, there was some wrinkles there, and I was very happy with that. And I also used this color to color in the roses because it's supposed to be the same color. Then for skin, I used R21. If you look back at my painting, her skin is very, very pink, so I wanted to try and capture that. At first, I used this to just add shading to the hair, bringing a little bit more pink into that, because when I used my acrylic paints, I was mixing all of the colors together a lot. So there's a lot of blending and cohesion between those colors. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that idea in with the Copic markers and blend a lot of the colors together. Even if you necessarily wouldn't think to shade blonde hair with pink, I did it anyway. And I like it. And then obviously I used it to color in her skin. For the most part, this is all the colors that I ended up using. I think I tried using some purples and some other colors, but they didn't really work, so I don't use a lot of them. But I keep switching between these three colors. Oh, and I also used R24. So I used R24, it's a Copic marker, and I used that to shade some more. So anywhere that I needed just an extra smidge of depth, because it is a little bit lighter than my R1 and my R2 and my Ohuhu brush markers. So it was like a nice mid-tone for that, but it was very dark compared to my R21. And I basically just switched between these markers, adding some shading, using the R24 for the blush, and R21 for any of the lighter tones. To bring some of that red into the text, since I used black, I used R24 to color in those little spaces that I left in the line art. I was originally going to fill those in with just the line art color, so solid black, but I'm so glad that I didn't, because I feel like this just spreads that red around, you know? Then I used this Decoress white gel pen to add little highlights here and there, but I wasn't done yet. I did grab a light purple and try to add shading underneath the kneecap there with that back leg, because when you draw legs and one is kind of sticking backwards, it can be very difficult to get that to actually look like a leg's going backwards and one's not just a different length than the other. So I like to color it in a lot darker to really push the contrast and to tell the eye that that's further in the distance, not just a different shaped leg from her other leg. I also used it to add just a smidge of shading here and there, but it wasn't crazy the way the purple was blending with the reds and the pinks, so I didn't use a lot of it. Then I settled on making the roses in kind of like a circle shape encompassing the title and welcoming you to my sketchbook and just bringing your eye in that direction. So I added line art, and then I colored it with the same colors I'd been using for the rest of the drawing, tying it up and wrapping it in a bow and using the same colors. For a little extra fun and pop, I darkened up the line art around the outside of the character. I feel like this makes it look a little bit more cookie cutout. I don't know. I just like it. It makes the character look a little flat. I don't know. Some reason that just appeals to me. I didn't encompass the entire character, just here and there so that it's not too overwhelming. Oh, here I'm trying to erase some more of that pencil. It's not as visible on camera, but gosh, that stuff was sticky. It did not want to go anywhere. That humidity, man. So this is what it looked like at this point. Looking at it, I realized it was off-centered. Now these are like things that I could have fixed if I really had planned ahead. So I felt pretty dumb because these are all easily avoidable problems. So I decided to do a little bit of a quick fix, and I took a chisel nib and I just drew a straight line on the left side. This like shrinks the page and makes it look a little bit smaller. Very vaguely centers my illustration on the page. This is like a cop-out, I know. I'm aware. I'm dealing with this on my own time. But I honestly don't hate it. And I like that it just brings more red into the whole thing. I kind of wish I had used some kind of background or add stripes. I could still do that. 1 second. Okay, let me just do this really quick. My desk's a mess. I was drawing, naturally. I'm gonna use R21. I'm going to add stripes to the background, but not within the actual title, like that circle shape, so it makes that circle shape stand out. And then there'll be a background, and the page will have a little bit more oomph. Oh, yes, I'm going to do that. So, if I did that, it's showing on screen right now. Anyway, but I added, before I do that, I did do this. I added more pink and reds to the skin because I looked back at the cover and I realized my painting had much darker, redder skin. So I tried to just incorporate a little bit more without ruining what I already had. And this is what that looked like. But then if I go back and add stripes, this is what it looks like now. Well, in the future, I haven't done it yet. Hopefully it's good. Ooh. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you like the first page in my sketchbook. I definitely recommend creating a little first page, like a little title page, welcoming you to the sketchbook. You can put your name like you're the author of the art, you know. It's really, really cool. I think it's just a fun little thing to do. Thanks for joining me. I hope you all have a delicious evening full of waffles. Bye!